when 500 miners assemble on Bakery Hill and swear an oath. We swear by the Southern Cross to stand truly by each other and fight to defend our rights and liberties. So part of our remembrance has become recollection, looking around and see who is it that's oppressing us in this time? Who is it that's taking away our rights and liberties? We make this a general discourse. Good to be aware of where it's coming from. Good to be aware of the faces of our oppressors. Come around this side, folks. This side of the memorial. Surface Regiment. And after he was a bit of a hero in East Timor. It was his operations, he got decorated for this. His operations that got rid of the Indonesian trained militias up there who were slaughtering the people. Then he got a role in the Department of Defence. He was working after something menial like cadets, right? His career had come to a halt, but then it changed radically. He got a new job that had been created by Prime Minister Howard, National Security Advisor in the talk-up for the Iraq War invasion. So he was setting up office. He set up office in the Parliament. He had direct access to the Prime Minister and Cabinet, advising them on the terror war. So it was he who ignored, diminished, refused to acknowledge the evidence coming in, the intelligence reports coming in from the National Office of Assessment. This is Andrew Wilkie, saying that the intelligence about weapons of mass destruction was exaggerated and certainly no cause goes to war. So this man is the one who advised the government and advised the nation to invade Iraq. He is responsible in this national thing for the mass slaughter of 1 million civilians and army people killed by that invasion, the destruction of their infrastructure, and has left them in a permanent state of civil war. What was once a modern state, free education, free health, free university, infrastructure, roads, the best in the Middle East, in Iraq. They'd used the oil resources to make a better state. He was one of the destroyers of it. And he continued to advise on the terror war under Rudd and under Gillard. Under Gillard, he moved on to become Secretary of Defence, but not before. He got the Prime Minister to commit the Special Air Service Regiment, one Sabre Squadron, 80 of them, to indefinite deployment overseas in Iraq. Never happened before, sending people off to war and not putting a finish date on it. And then making it the Special Air Service no reports about what they've been doing. The only way we found out about what they've been doing is reading the American reports of what happening under Special Operations Command. Because what happened in that war, run by the CIA, remember, they created a whole new corps called Special Operations Command, and all the coalition of the willing, all their special forces, were taking orders from Special Operations Command. That includes the Australians. And what they were doing was a campaign called Capture and Kill. Never happened in warfare before. This was industrial scale home invasions. Troops dropping out of the sky in helicopters, 3 a.m. in the morning, blowing up the doorways, the gates to compounds, rousing everyone out of bed at gunpoint, women, children, old people. If they find the person they were looking for, bang, summary execution. If they don't find them, they take someone away with them to a black site where they are tortured to provide information. This was happening on a scale never happened before. 500 a week, 2,000 a month they were doing this. If you can imagine the amount of work, the planning that goes into this kind of operation, this was an astonishing thing. And who was the planner, the initial planner of these operations? It was an Australian general, Major General Michael Krauss, former commander of 7th Brigade. He's the same guy. We've gone off a tangent here, folks, but he's the same guy that welcomed the US Marines to set up in Robertson Barracks, where he was the commandant. That's how close we've become. Meanwhile, Major General Duncan Lewis becomes Secretary of Defence, the first military person ever to take on this position. He resigns, however, in protest against Dillard's 10% reduction in military spending, and goes off and takes up a position as ambassador to NATO in The Hague, where they're planning other wars, regime changes in the Middle East. He came back to take up this position of Director General of ASIO with new powers. So I say, this man who has lied to the Australian people about weapons of mass destruction has set us off to permanent war, including Iraq Invasion 3, another 200 Special Air Service troops deployed in permanent. This is the man who is the most danger to our rights and liberties in this time. This is based on his record and based on the new powers he was given recently. That any special intelligence operation becomes secret, which means that all the fighting that's going on overseas has become secret. And the other fascinating thing I find about this penchant for secrecy amongst the intelligence organisations is also massive. There's telephone calls we make, any emails they send. This one is collecting them. Major General Duncan Lewis was interviewed when he took up this office, and he said that Ed Snowden, for example, is a traitor. And it's essential that the ASIO has all the metadata. This is the man. Hold this, Joe, while I put a torch to him.
All right. Here we go.
We had information that may assist the authorities in their investigations. If you refuse to answer questions, you can be jailed for up to 7 years. And as I speak, the fire is taking hold. It's smoke. It's a bit slow. Did you do this on purpose, Graeme? Are you torturing the man? Are you been involved in the same activities they're involved in? Did you learn something off it? There we go. It's going. See? Here we go. I mean, burning an effigy is a traditional form of protest which people have had for decades, for hundreds of years, thousands of years. And that's the thing about modern terror.